Ambassador Anna Chun stood before the Galactic Council for the last time, her hands clasped behind her back, her expression carved from stone. The vast chamber, built to accommodate beings from 1,000 worlds, felt suffocating despite its enormity. Behind her, Commander Alexander Kane waited at attention. Humanity's military representative, his jaw set in that way she'd come to recognize over the past decade, the look of a man who'd made peace with an irreversible decision. "You cannot be serious about this," Counselor G. Crick hissed, his crystalline form refracting the chamber's light into fractured rainbows. Humanity would abandon centuries of cooperation over mere regulations? Anna's laugh was bitter. Mere regulations? You've systematically dismantled everything we've contributed to this council. She gestured to the empty human delegation seats behind her. For 300 years, we shared our medical advances freely. We taught sustainable terraforming. We opened our agricultural databases to worlds facing famine. And how did you repay us? The counselor's silence was answer enough. Alexander stepped forward, pulling up a holographic display that illuminated the chamber in cold blue light. 17 amendments in the last decade alone, he said, his voice carrying the weight of military precision. Each one specifically targeting human advantages. Our faster-than-light communication, deemed unfairly competitive and restricted. Our quantum computing, banned for potential military applications, while other species-equivalent technologies remained untouched. The Council acted in the interest of galactic harmony. High Arbiter Velmoth interjected, her 6 eyes blinking in careful sequence, a gesture Anna had learned meant defensiveness among the Vel species. Anna's voice rose, echoing off the vaulted ceiling. "You mean stagnation. You mean ensuring that humanity never rose above the status you assigned us useful servants with dangerous potential." She pulled up her own display, showing economic data. "You imposed tariffs on human goods at 3 times the rate of other species. You restricted our colony rights to worlds deemed suitable for human biology, while granting others access to the richest systems. You even had the audacity to suggest we limit our population growth, because our expansion rate destabilized established borders." Alexander's hands curled into fists at his sides. He remembered the day that last resolution passed, the day Earth's colonies erupted in protests that the Council ignored. The day he'd sat with Anna in her office, watching her compose the message that would change everything, humanity's notice of withdrawal. "We tried diplomacy," Anna continued, her voice dropping to something more dangerous than anger disappointment. "For decades, I stood here and argued for fairness. I proposed compromises. I submitted to your courts, your arbitrations, your endless bureaucracies. And at every turn, you chose to chain us rather than embrace what we could accomplish together. This is madness." Counselor Z.H. Crick's voice crackled with genuine alarm now. "The resources required for total galactic exodus, where would you even go?" Alexander's lips curved into something that wasn't quite a smile. "That's no longer your concern, Counselor." The truth was, Alexander had been working on the answer for 15 years. Deep in classified laboratories, human scientists had achieved what the Council's best minds deemed impossible. They'd cracked transgalactic fold technology. Not the slow, predictable jump drives that connected Council space, but something revolutionary. Humanity could now traverse the void between galaxies in weeks rather than millennia. "You'll find the galaxy far less prosperous without human innovation," Anna said. And now there was an edge of satisfaction in her tone. "We've been quietly withdrawing our medical personnel from Council worlds over the past 6 months, retracting our agricultural aid, closing our trade networks. You didn't notice because you were too busy congratulating yourselves on finally putting humanity in its place." Velmoth's skin paled to a sickly gray. "The plague worlds, you've withdrawn your doctors from the plague worlds?" "We have," Alexander confirmed. Along with the cure we were developing. We sent formal notifications through proper channels. They were overlooked. I believe the council's response termed it. The chamber erupted in chaos. Counselors who had sat silent through humanity's grievances now shouted in a dozen languages, their translators struggling to keep pace. The plague worlds represented a fifth of council space, billions of beings suffering from a pandemic that human researchers had been close to solving. Anna let them rage for a moment before holding up her hand. The gesture so simple, so human somehow commanded silence. This is what you failed to understand, she said quietly. Humanity never wanted to dominate. We wanted to contribute, to grow, to be partners in building something greater than ourselves. You saw our potential and felt threatened. You chose to constrain rather than collaborate. She turned toward the exit, Alexander falling into step beside her. At the massive doors, she paused and looked back one final time. In 2 weeks, the last human vessel will depart council space. We're taking our technology, our knowledge, and our hope to Andromeda. We'll build something new there, a place where innovation is celebrated, not punished. Where being exceptional doesn't make you a target. You'll regret this, Z. Hukrik called out, but his voice wavered with uncertainty. Alexander allowed himself a genuine smile now. No, counselor. You will. As the doors closed behind them, Anna heard the council chamber descend into chaos once more. Outside, Alexander's communication device chimed a message from the fleet. 20,000 colony ships in position. 8,000 military escorts ready. Humanity's exodus was beginning. Any regrets? Alexander asked as they walked toward the shuttle bay. Anna looked at the alien architecture around them, beautiful in its way, but built on a foundation of fear and control. She thought of the colony worlds being evacuated, of Earth's massive generation ships loaded with humanity's legacy, of the blank canvas awaiting them in Andromeda. Not even one, she replied. Behind them, the Galactic Council was just beginning to understand what they'd lost. Ahead of them, humanity was already looking toward the stars that would be their new home, free, unbound, and finally able to reach their full potential. The Council had tried to clip humanity's wings. Instead, they'd taught them to fly beyond their reach forever.